Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault at Sports Talk Matt is my Twitter handle at BettingPros or BettingPros, the BetMGM offer. It's kind of redundant at this point. Juice 150, the promo code when you sign up for a new account with BetMGM, $10 bet, win or lose, you get that 150 into your account. New accounts not valid in the state of Nevada. Another 2-in-1 night. I mean, plus 115 on the Rangers on the run line, so that's good. Get a little extra juice into the account there. So that's a little bit of a bigger win on a 2-in-1 night, but it's just kind of how we've been rolling. I'm not going to stop it now, but I am going to do our final totals Tuesday with 3 games and 3 totals that we're going to jump in on. Look, at some point we're going to fall on our face, right? At some point we're going to wind up, this hot streak in baseball is going to come to an end. I don't want to curse it by any means, but we've been doing fairly well. I'm going to check the actual record here for baseball so far after the 2-in-1 night. So baseball is now 41-34. And so we are over 54%. We're up like over 2.5 units so far in the year. So, at some point we're going to go 0-3 and drop it down and probably, fall. Maybe today's the day we do that. But baseball is a wonky sport. It's a difficult sport to, you just have to kind of like rinse and repeat on a lot of the bets. It gets kind of boring and monotonous and redundant, but 2-in-1, I'll take 2-in-1 for the rest of my life. As I've said, just give me 2-in-1 the rest of my life and I'm a happy camper here. So it's going to be baseball from here on out for Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and then my time here as the host of this podcast will be over. So we're going to go out with baseball. We're going to go out with Red Sox bets. We're going to go out, having some fun here, what you guys are used to seeing and hearing from the Daily Juice podcast, either on the video on YouTube or the audio, wherever you guys are getting your audio podcasts. So I don't know the transition, how we're supposed to transition, I'm not supposed to talk about much as to what is going on. The only thing I can say is DM me if you have any questions and I can tell you what's going on. That's it. That's all I can do. But we've got 3 podcasts left, so let's knock them down and let's have 3 winners on the way out. Let's start with the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. So this total is 10, okay? First 5 is 5.5. A little bit perplexed by this whole thing. So Ross Stripling is going for the Blue Jays. The Red Sox have Michael Wacha. Red Sox lost 7-2 yesterday. It snapped their 7-game win streak Blue Jays throwing a guy with a 4-2 record, 3.08 on the year. At home, ERA of 3.04. Opposing batting average a little bit higher at home than on the road, 2.53. Giving up a little more hits, basically the same number of strikeouts, little less number of innings pitched, 29 innings, 22 Ks, 23 innings, 21 Ks. So a little bit better at home, which is what you would expect for anybody pitching in their home ballpark. Michael Wacha on the other side for the Red Sox has been their best pitcher. He's been really, really good. And the Red Sox have been an under team. And that's one of the reasons why this total being open at 9.5 was bet to 10, and the first 5 total being 5.5 is so interesting to me. Now, it's a little juicy, minus 120, but Michael Wacha is 6-1 with a 2.34 ERA. Michael Wacha, in his last 5 starts, 2 earned runs, 1, 3, 0, and 0. Starts against the Angels on the road with 0, at Seattle with 3. Has been a reliable go-to pitcher, 6-1 with a 2.34 ERA for Boston. Okay, he's been really good at home, 1.39 ERA, decent on the road, 3.27. I got 5.5 runs to play with here. I know this is a dangerous bet to get into, but I'm taking the under 5.5 at minus 120 for the first 5 for the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. I'm going to bank on these pitchers who are going to perform well, hopefully tonight for us. Don't worry about these bullpens and all the late scoring that happened. I mean, in terms of the first 5, we were lucky because we went over first 5 because all 7 runs got scored by the Blue Jays. Well, one in the first, 3 in the third, and 3 in the fifth, as Seabold gave up 7 earned runs. The rookie got hit pretty hard. Gosman was really good, got the win, 7 innings, no earned runs. The game went it stayed under 9.5, I believe was the total, right, for that game? Yeah, so it stayed under 9.5. and it went over first 5. So we were lucky we got the first 5 over. Let's hopefully see, under 5.5, maybe under for the game. Might go over here, but Blue Jays and the Red Sox have played a bunch of games. A lot of these games have been low scoring: 3, 7, 5, 8, 11, 8, 1, 9 for them. So under first 5, under 5.5, first 5, minus 120 for a half a unit for the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Second bet, full game, okay? And we're going to jump in on the Astros and the Mets. So this is a pitching matchup, really good matchup. Framber Valdez against Carlos Carrasco. Framber Valdez, 7.3, 2.9 ERA. Carlos Carrasco, 8-3 with a 4.42 ERA. Total this game is 8.5. We've seen 10 runs and 8 runs being scored so far here in this series. This is on TBS for these teams. Carlos Carrasco has been pretty good here for the New York Mets, and he's been one of the more reliable pitchers for them in terms of, he's gone 3-2 over the last 5. His games have been going over, which is a little bit concerning here for me on that. And I'm like, maybe lean towards the over in this. But the Astros are such a dominant team to the under. They are still right now, in terms of over-unders, they are 46, 23, and 3 to the under. New York Mets, on the other hand, have been a pretty consistent over team. They're 38, 30, and 6 to the over. But with Framber Valdez going, I could easily see this being like a 4-1, 5-2 win, and it stays under 8.5 for these two teams. So, Carrasco can spin it at times. He's been really good at times, had good starts at times. They tend to win the games he pitches. So he's been better in the month of May than he was in June. June's been kind of okay. 5-3, 5-2, and 0 earned runs over the last 5 starts. Again, a little bit better in May, but Framber Valdez has been very good here for the Astros, and I think he can come up again and pitch really well. I'll go full game. I was thinking about going first 5 on this, but I'm going to go full game on this. Under 8.5 for this, and hopefully Framber Valdez pitches well again. 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, and 1 earned runs given up for Framber Valdez. Last time out, 6 innings, 3 earned runs against the Yankees on this road trip. So they're staying in New York, going just across town to take on the Mets. We're going under 8.5, Astros and the Mets at minus 120. And finally, I will have a personal play here on the Rangers run line at plus 115, okay? It's been really remarkable to watch these teams and watch just how consistent in terms of the run line Texas is. They are now the second best team in Major League Baseball, 42-30 on the run line, and Kansas City is the worst, okay? 29-43. So I like run line at plus 115. You want some extra action, I will be going on that. But since it is a totals Tuesday on this, John Gray against Jonathan Helsley, you got 10 runs, 4 runs, and 14 runs being scored. The total here is 8.5 for this one. I don't know. I thought about it. I was going back and forth. I was like, maybe we wind up taking the under in this game and think there's going to be a great pitching performance. But it's, June. It's in Texas. Just feels like we're going to see runs here. I feel like we're going to see a bunch of runs here, and it could be one of a really high-scoring game. It's pretty much 9 painted across the board here, but Caesars is at 8.5, over 8.5 at minus 120. Let's take that. Let's take the over 8.5 for the Rangers and the Royals here at minus 120. Rangers run line, but let's go with the over for a half a unit, over 8.5 at minus 120. Caesars has that right now for you if you want to jump in on that. All right. So 3 totals for us here, 2 unders and 1 over. Red Sox, Blue Jays, under 5.5, first 5 at minus 120. Under 8.5, Astros and the Mets at minus 120 for the game. And for the game, over 8.5 for the Royals and the Rangers, also at minus 120. You want a little extra, plus money. Rangers run line at plus 115 is a bet that I like as well. Our final total is Tuesday. Let's end it with a 2-1 mark because it's been 2-1 for pretty much a week and a half now. Take it every single time. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt each and every morning. It's the Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by BetMGM.